Hello, beautiful heart. Thank you for tuning in. All right, I am Dr. D, metaphysician, and today I am breaking down this incredible energy that we are under today. Today being February 17th, 2026. Again, all of my energy sessions and videos are timeless. But this day marks a very important day for us and history, and I'm going to break this down as we get into it. In this video, I am going to talk about, I just don't even have the words to describe the energy that we're under. But today we have a new moon, we have an eclipse, which this solar eclipse is an annual eclipse, so it's a ring of fire. Another piece of potency to this is going to be at the 28th degree, 56 minutes, so almost at the 29th degree. And that's important because that is the last degree, which anytime you have a sign in the last degree, it is massive change on hand. All right, so not only do we have this new moon eclipse, we've got the Chinese New Year of the fire horse. We're coming out of the year of the snake, so that was shedding, and moving into fire horse energy, which that's the energy of burn it all down. We've come through years of illusions, fantasy, things like that. Now we're coming into burn it all down. We have another challenging aspect, which is Uranus in Taurus, and it is directly challenging this eclipse. So what does that mean in practical terms? Expect the unexpected. Easiest way I can put it. All right. Most people treat eclipses like spiritual entertainment, but eclipses historically line up with course corrections, resets, and visibility shifts. Now combine that with a new moon, which already represents a fresh cycle, layer that in fire horse energy. And a little side note, the last time we saw this fire horse signature energy was 1966. Why is that important? I'm going to break it down so you can see why it's important to be aware of it, what all transpired, because fire horse energy, yes, it is volatile, fast, it is catalytic type of energy. It's ignition energy. So this energy ignites. It's not about completion. Guys, we're playing the long game here. So settle in a little bit because this is going to be around a while. Fire horse energy is all about, yes, movement, but movement of identity shifts. Think mass falling, authenticity is what is being celebrated right now. This energy is also about independence and emotional reactivity. As you go about your day today, or if you're watching this in the evening, reflect back on your day. Did you encounter anybody that were you emotionally reactive? This energy pushes motion internally or externally or both. Eclipse periods often rearrange first and explain later. That is key because this eclipse that we're under right now, like I said, the last time it was here was 1966. And as I break down a little bit of the history, what we were going through in 1966 and the few years after. Why is that important? Because what I said is eclipse periods often rearrange first and explain later. Another way of saying it, remember I said that these eclipses ignite. They're like the fuse that gets lit, but that 3-year period, within that 3-year period, let me put it that way, when we really see the explosion of change. So guys, we have a lot that is going to be coming at us We have got systems that are ready to dismantle. If you've been following me for a while, we do not do fear over here at all. It is not welcome at all. So anything that I share is not to invoke fear or anything like that. It is for awareness, to prepare so you can understand and learn how to work with the energy and not resist it. Because it's when we resist energy that we make things harder for ourselves. And guys, I'm telling you, you do not want to make this energy any more intense than it already is. All right. An eclipse is not extra moon magic. It's interruption energy. Something blocks the normal light flow. In other words, the hidden becomes visible, stable feels unstable, old trajectories wobble, perception shifts before reality does. So for those of you that have been feeling this change coming, but it hasn't quite got here, you've been feeling this energy coming up. Fire horse energy is historically linked with acceleration, volatility, and rapid shifts. Not mystical, psychological and systemic. I'm just going to let that sit for a minute. Psychological and systemic. Think speed increases, reactions intensify, structures get stress test, and suppressed tension surface. In other words, you can no longer put up with the BS or tolerate it if you're no longer in alignment with it. All right, the 1966 mirror. 1966 didn't look dramatic at first glance, but it sat directly before one of the most disruptive cultural rewrites in modern history. Before I go through what transpired or what kicked off in 1966, let's look at what we're looking at here in 2026. We have political unrest. There is a lot of rebellion surging, protest. Gen Z is playing a huge pivotal role. Why is this important? Because back in 1966, we had the Vietnam escalation, youth rebellion surge, institutional distrust rising, massive identity shifts beginning. We had the counterculture explosion, civil rights and social upheaval. Music went through a huge shift. For those of you who were around at that time, or even maybe you were younger in the 70s or what have you, the Beatles, remember that? Rock was coming on board, things like that. We had new gender and social norms. What's going on in politics? Y'all seeing the correlation that I'm dropping here? The explosion wasn't 1966. 1966 lit the fuse. What happened after this 1966 mass cultural upheaval? Well, it culminated in 67 through 69. And let's look at 1968. What happened in 68? That was one of the most chaotic years in modern history, especially for the United States. And I am going to focus on the United States because that's where I live. And this cycle and everything that is sitting right on top of the United States natal chart. United States is a Cancer nation based on when it was born or formed. All right, so back to 1968. We had the assassinations of Martin Luther King, Robert Kennedy. We had global protests, political instability. Any of this sounding familiar? This is where it really starts to get interesting. And I'm talking parallel, not predictive, just observational. So again, I really want to throw that context in here. I'm not predicting anything. I am talking about looking at parallels and observing, because astrology really gives us a good picture of the energy of history, and we have history to look back to see, well, how did that astrological energy play out? So expect system fatigue, identity restructuring, institutional credibility stress. Hello, we've been seeing that. Rapid tech and social rewiring. I have been talking about new tech coming online over the next 3 years. So pay attention to that. And emotional volatility everywhere. Guys, I have clients from around the world. And in my conversations with them over the past couple of weeks, the theme has been, and it doesn't matter which country or continent that they're on, they are all saying the same thing about this emotional volatility. People just are unhinged or over the top, emotional outbursts. It's global energy, it's cosmic energy. But the truth is, the world rarely changes when things are calm. It shifts when pressure meets ignition. We are at that point of ignition. So buckle up, buttercups, for today. Remember, expect the unexpected, because if it's going to happen now. Cycles don't cause events. They describe conditions where change becomes more likely. What does that mean? It means that humans tolerate tension until they reach that threshold. Then change feels sudden, but in truth, it wasn't. Collective nervous systems destabilize and reality reorganizes quickly. The question isn't whether eclipses or firehorse energy do anything. The real question is why certain periods consistently coincide with acceleration, disruption, and identity shifts. Because historically, fuse lighting years are never boring. And that's something that I really want to highlight, because maybe you have felt bored the past 3, 4, 5, 6 years, whatever it was. A lot of this energy leading up to today was very similar to 2018. So you may be having cycles or things come up around that. Whatever it is, just know that this time that we've just stepped into is very catalyzing. It's going to take a few days to allow your body to recalibrate to this energy. So go easy with yourself right now. Extend grace first to yourself and to others. Some physical symptoms you may be experiencing: restlessness, urgency, desire for change, sudden realizations, less tolerance for stagnation or things you're no longer in alignment with. You may have also felt the urge to purge, organize, clean, redecorate. It's not random. Remember, today the fuse gets lit, but it doesn't mean everything's burning down overnight. This is going to be with us for a little while. So again, as I've shared in previous videos, if you can look at the energy on a daily basis of going to an amusement park. And Sunday during Sip and Shift, I was talking about, or I gave the analogy of every day going to Disneyland or Disney World. And it's like you get your little adventure park passport, and you go. And each day that you go, you don't know how that day is going to unfold. You just show up at the adventure park. You're like, I'm here to have the adventure. And then I gave the specifics of the haunted mansion. And you wait in line, you get into that bucket car. I don't know what to call it, but it's on a track and it kind of moves you around. But you're going through sceneries, different experiences. Some of it's behind a plexiglass wall. Other times during the ride, you'll see the ghost in the bucket with you or what have you. If you look at that and you look at your day to day as being on these different rides, And after Haunted Mansion and at Disneyland, that's what I'm most familiar with. You come out of the Haunted Mansion, and I could be wrong, but I think right next door, right in that same area, is Pirates of the Caribbean. And for those of you, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But the point is, whichever ride you go to, especially at Disneyland, the themes are different, but the foundation is the same. You get strapped into some sort of cart or mobility device that takes you through these different scenarios, whether it's Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Matterhorn, whatever, Space Mountain. It's a different adventure, a different theme, but the foundation is the same. You're strapped, you're in a car of some sort, and you're going through these scenarios. If you can look at your reality, your day to day life, especially when the energy is heavy or the days are harder to get through. And let me tell you, guys, last week for me was incredibly intense and dense. Like many of you, 2025 was definitely a year of shedding and intensity. But since January, it's been incredibly intense. For those of you who've been with me for a while, know that I had my beloved emotional support bearded dragon, Kumara, and he loved to be a part of the morning readings and things like that. He unexpectedly passed away a couple of weeks ago, and I was absolutely devastated. I looked over and saw something was wrong. I just knew something wasn't right with him. So I picked him up and I put him on my chest and I held him until he passed away. In 2025, right before my birthday, my beloved cockatoo, many of you know, Coco, she suddenly passed away, woke up, went down to say good morning, and she had passed. Year before that, I lost Pickle, my other parrot. So there's been a lot of loss, emotional loss. So I know things have not, the energy hasn't been easy, but all of it has served a purpose to get us to this point now. So this energy, new moons, eclipses, this is not the time to sit down and write out a wish list or focus your intention on what you want to manifest. Keep your attention on embodying the energy of what you want to experience. This embodiment is so important now. We have to move out of the thinking, that masculine mentality. And what I mean by that is the masculine energy is the mental, it is the mind. Let's analyze, let's think about it. You are going to find in the fire horse year, when you try to do that, you're going to be very uncomfortable. Your body's going to let you know right away. So if that's what's going on, drop into your heart, feel your way through it. And what I mean by that is we don't make any decisions, especially important decisions, or sign contracts during this type of energy. We do not do it during an eclipse. This is also the energy to really be the scientist studying the monkey, with you being the monkey, of your thoughts, behaviors, and your stories. Because life is supposed to be easier. We have been working through survival. Survival was not fun, but what we've learned in survival got us to this point. Walking through this threshold, survival stories will not take you through the fire horse energy easily. It's going to cause a lot of resistance. So stay aware of that. And remember, don't make big decisions when you're super in your emotions. Don't. Take some time out. Go inwards, get calm, wait until there's a little bit more stability and you're seeing things clearly. So this is definitely a day where you may feel called to be more quiet or inward with yourself. That is absolutely okay. Make sure you're following what your body is leading you to, what your body is telling you. Your body is always your best compass because it won't lie to you. Your mind? Oh, monkey mind will gaslight the hell out of you every chance it gets. All right, you guys. I hope you found something useful in this video. Thank you. If you're still here listening to me, drop a horse emoji or a fire emoji or a dragon in the comments. And again, hang on. We will get through this, and I'll be back tomorrow with another energy overview. I am sending you oceans and oceans of love from my heart to yours. Namaste.